All right. Good evening, good afternoon, and then maybe good morning to every one of us. Ladies in Tech Africa, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Please confirm you can hear me clearly. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Let me know at the comment section if you can hear me clearly. Let me know at the comment section. If you can hear me clearly, let me know. Very clearly. Thank you so much. And for those of us that are in Nigeria currently, let me say happy independence. And then if you are not in Nigeria, please join us as we celebrate people in Nigeria to say happy independence and then happy new month as well. So please, you want to also do that to someone you are seeing on this call right away. You can even tag some names that you can see. I can see Adenike, Happy Independence to you, Akinpelu, Happy Independence, Toyin Happy Independence, Ekwerema, Louis, Happy Independence, Patience, Happy Independence, Blessing Okoye, Gift Daniel, Egbeola Esther, Ruth Martins, Happy Independence, everyone. Yes, and happy new month to us. All right. So it's a good way to start the month, right? And I think we can also continue from the last time that we stopped at. So how many of us are ready to learn something new again tonight? How many of us are ready to learn something new again tonight? From what we learned the last class, yes, can I see 1 or 2% comment on what it was their take home at the last class that we had? What was your take home? Great. I like that. I like that energy. Let's keep it coming. I like that energy. Very much ready. That was Juliet. Very much ready. Okay, great. Yes. So from the last class we had, who can remind us, of course, what we looked at, and then what was a very important thing that you learned at the last class? Yes, I'm waiting. Maybe I should just take some time at the comment section and see what people have to say. And interestingly, I saw a few people posted the new things they learned in building their portfolio. And probably, yes, thank you, creating a portfolio, building portfolio, how to create portfolio using GitHub, creating a repository. Okay. So, what's the most fascinating thing for you at that last class? Can you also share that at the comment section? Let's see how to set up my GitHub account. I like that. All right. Oh, wow, Juliet, what stood out for you was how to delete your repository. Okay, Adenike said repository. Okay, great. Okay. So how many of us have worked on our portfolio now, such that if I request for you to share a link with me, I can just pick up the link and then see 1 or 2 things you have done? How many of us have been able to do that? How many of us have been able to do that? How many of us are confident enough how to tell a data story? I like that. Ellen J. How many of us are done? Winifred, are you saying you have done that? You can share. Jemima Effium. Jemima Effium, can you please drop your link and then my TA will pick it up for me and then we can make or do 1 or 2 things with it. If it's not something we might need to share, but then you might just as well qualify for something interesting. Yeah. Okay, still working on it, Egniola. Okay, I'm still on it. Editing and previewing repository, creating GitHub. Okay, so you can try. Ewegun Kemi, you can try. Okay, all right. So if you are confident and then you are sure you can try, just share your link. Of course, your link is we are all learners here, like I know, right? So if you think is you don't want to be shy about it, you can actually share, and then let's have a look at it together. Yes, okay, still on it. How do we share the link? Just share the link just the way you are sharing comments on this section, and then the TA will pick it up for me. Just share it just the way you have been sharing all the comments you are sharing, and then it will be picked up, and then we can Now continue. All right, so today what we want to do is to actually proceed from where we stopped at the last time. All right, so now today what we want to continue from was or what we want to start with actually, because the last class we had, we actually did a run through of how I can build a portfolio and how all the projects that we have been doing since the commencement of this training till the last part where we had our SQL, how you can put all of this together and then communicate it. I mean, tell a story about it. You want people to see what you have done and then how you are able to do it. So today we are starting a new module entirely, and that module is Microsoft Power BI. So we want to look at the step-by-step guide, installations, and the introduction. So do I have anybody who have a prior knowledge to Microsoft Power BI? You have a prior knowledge to Microsoft Power BI? Having difficulty in saving my chart without screenshotting. Okay, yes. Temitope Akinbode. Okay, you know what you do for me? So for those of us that have that link, willing to share the link, you can do that at the Telegram channel. You can do that very quickly at the Telegram channel. You can do that at the Telegram channel so that we can. All right. So let's begin by checking what Microsoft Power BI. So please, Technical, can you help us zoom in as they have requested that we zoom in so that they can see clearly, right? So what we want to do is Microsoft Power BI, the step-by-step guide, the installation, and the introduction to it. Now, let me start by saying, okay, like I asked the other time, okay, I see a few person, I don't. I'm so open to learn. Amazing. Don't worry, you are in for good business. I have a visualization tool. That's Simisola said is a visualization tool. Amazing. Okay. So do a little bit. Okay, that's good. Cool. All right. So just like some of us have actually said that we are really ready to learn and we are open to learn. Trust me, you are in for something very, very, very good because you are in to learn something very interesting. And I can assure you, you will learn a whole lot. Now, what is Microsoft Power BI? Now, Microsoft Power BI is just one of those tools that comes or that is manufactured by Microsoft. And it is also one of the tools of Microsoft Power platforms. One of the tools that comes with what? Microsoft Power Platform. So Microsoft Power Platforms majorly have four major tools. Of course, not limited to that, they have much more. But four major tools that they have is number one, they have Microsoft Power Applications, they have Microsoft Power BI, they have Microsoft Power Virtual Agent, and they have Microsoft, which other one now? Power Apps, Power BI, Virtual Agent, and then page making. Yes, that's page. So all of these are or belongs to Microsoft, and they are all called enterprise applications. They are called enterprise applications because they are majorly used for in business enterprises. They are majorly used where in business enterprise. Just a moment, please. All right. So they are major tools. And tonight we want to look at this tool as well, and then what it does, how it's going to be of help to what we are going to be doing, and what we're going to be using it for. I hope we are ready to learn this. I hope we are ready. Okay. So now, what is Microsoft Power BI? Just like I mentioned, please, Technical, I need you guys to work with me on this slide. Let's go to the introduction. Now, yes, we are done with GitHub. Somebody is still asking, are we done with GitHub? We are done with GitHub actually. So what GitHub does for you is just to populate your project, document your project rather. Whatever project you have done, document it, and then you are good to go. So whatever you need to do, you can learn on the job as you proceed, right? So Power BI is a data visualization and business intelligence tool, right? And that converts data from different data sources. Now, listen, you remember that when we since we started this class, we are about to explore at least two tools now. We are about to explore the Microsoft Excel. We have used SQL, right? And these tools, they are tools that you can actually take or source, make data source where you can use your Power BI. Now, Power BI, BI there is an acronym for business intelligence. BI there is an acronym for what? For business intelligence. So, and is what? Is a tool for what? That converts data from different sources to interactive dashboard, and then you can now from there make report. Now, how many of us remember while we are working with Microsoft Excel, you had what's it called now? Your dashboard. You were able to make your dashboard. So everything you were able to do there. No. The slide you are giving me is for GitHub. So you can go to slide 9, number 9, slide number 9. That's where I'm currently working on. Please check number 9. So that's where I have a Power BI introduction. Thank you. All right. So now you have your BI report. Now that's business intelligence report. From what we did in Microsoft Excel, you remember that you created a dashboard that was responsive that you can show based on what you did, right? So the same thing with that is what we want to do here with the use of what? A Power BI. Now, Power BI is a more flexible tool to creating report. All right, so yes, let's go to the next slide now. So Power BI is a very flexible tool to making reports, and that is why we want to explore its usage. Thank you. We want to explore its usage, how we can use it, what can we use it for, what are the connectors, how do we connect it together, and then what results can we get with it. Please stay at the introduction. Just work with me. Thank you. All right. So now we have so many data sources that we can actually attach to this Power BI for us to create our report. You know, along the line of this conversation, you will understand the difference between dashboard and report so that you can know when you are creating one, what exactly you are doing. So it's a collection of software services, right? Applications and connectors that work together to turn your unrelated sources of data. Now, what do we mean by unrelated sources of data? It means on the same report you are building, you can have SQL, you can have Excel, you can have some other data sources come together to just build a single report. I hope that makes sense. So that means you can have a combination of different sources and bring them together to have a single report. I hope that makes sense. If that makes sense, let me know at the comment section. If that makes sense, let me know. So tool that we can use to bring out a report. For those still asking if we are done with what's it called now with GitHub, I have said it again, and I'm saying it again rather, that we are done with the thank you. We are done with GitHub. So whatever you learned in that GitHub, if probably you are still thinking there's something you don't understand there, the video is very much available for you. Please pick the video up, watch it over and over again until you are able to make your report. PowerPoint and BI, are they the same? No, are they here? But they are not the same. So PowerPoint is also one of the tools for Microsoft, but then PowerPoint is majorly for making presentation, just like what I'm using right now. This is a Google slide. So it's just an excerpt of what PowerPoint can do. All right. So now let's continue. So here we see what Power BI can do. Now, Power BI suites provide multiple software connector services such as what? Power BI Desktop. So what is Power BI Desktop? Power BI Desktop is an interface, the interface that every one of us in this class will be making reference to. Don't worry, if you don't have it installed yet, you have all of this week to do that before the next time we are meeting, so that you can prepare yourself such that when we come the next time, of course, before the next class, 1 or 2 data will be shared with us, and then we can continue to use it. All right. So Power BI Desktop is the application that opens up the Power BI for you to interact with. This is the user interface where all your visualization is done. And this is where you can bring in your data sources from different connectors, and then you are using them. So we have Power BI services. So Power BI services is based on software as a service, right? Software as a service is an application that you need to get an external, how do I call it now? Permission to use. So that is what we have Power BI service. So Power BI service is not actually open to everyone, but then Power BI Desktop, you can actually download it. Once you download it, you can use it without the use of internet connection, as long as your data sources are offline sources. I take that again. So if you are, oh wow, interesting, Kemi, so you have Power BI Desktop installed on your system, good. Now let me take it again. Now, as long as what you have, or the sources of data you are working with, they are offline data sources. That means they are not connected to the internet. Say, for instance, now you are working with Microsoft Excel, you are working with a relative database management system. It is not connected to the internet. You can use it with Power BI without having to connect your system to the internet. But if you need to make reference to what's it called now, to a data source where you would, such as Google Sheets now, such as Google Sheet, if you have to make reference to such data like that, you will need your internet connection. Now, Power BI mobile application, can you please move to the next slide now so that people can see what I'm talking about? Tech, right? So the Power BI mobile application, this is available for different platforms. Now, okay, let me say this. For Power BI Desktop, the best way you can actually enjoy it. Do we have anybody in this class that probably you're working with a MacBook? You're working with a MacBook. You have a MacBook. That is what device you have. That is the device you have. Let me see at the comment section if that is what device you have. Okay, how many of us have Windows or Microsoft? Windows or Microsoft device? All right, great. Great. So for those of us, just hold on. You don't need to rush at yourself. Just hold on. For someone asking, where do we install? Okay, great. All right. Our Power BI Desktop, May 2021 version installed. Okay, great. All right. Interesting. Microsoft and Windows. Very good. Very good. Now, so I said that because if you are having maybe a MacBook, you will definitely have a challenge installing your Microsoft application, which is this Power BI, because they are not friendly. They are not friendly. So for you to be able to do that, you will need to do some external or extra cost, and which is not, in all honesty, is not advisable. Let me just come straight. In all honesty, is not advisable. So, but then your Power BI mobile application, what does it do? Your Power BI mobile application enables you, once you have created an account with Microsoft, you can actually create a free account with Microsoft. You can log into your Microsoft Power BI mobile apps. Your mobile apps can be Android, can be iOS, can be whatever device. And your, what's it called now? Your visualizations on Power BI services in real time can be updated on your mobile app, even if you are using a MacBook. Let me take it again. Now, for your Power BI mobile application, please, can you help me with the next slide after the introduction slide, please, so that people can see the 3 things I'm talking about here. Thank you. Right. So now the Power BI service is an online service that you need to subscribe to achieve to get, right? But the mobile application works on your system. It works on your mobile devices, I mean to say, either your Android, your iOS, whatever gadget you are using. So your Power BI mobile application works on it. And what it simply means is that whatever projects you are doing or reports you are building with your Power BI desktop, once you put it on your Power BI service, you can view it on your mobile service. Did you see the connection between the three now? Whatever project you are building with your Power BI project, as long as you have been able to position it or put it on your Power BI service, your Power BI mobile application can actually preview it, such that if I'm working on a project now and maybe I don't have access to my Power BI desktop, but then I have saved it on my Power BI services, I can just immediately pick up my phone or my device, my gadget, as the case may be, and then see that same application there, and then I can view the update. The only challenge is that you might not be able to edit or add some other things to it, but then you can view and you can, of course, share with neighboring people to see what progress you have made. Probably you want to make a quick presentation and then you don't have your system with you, so you can quickly do that with your Power BI mobile application. So generally, this set of services are used by business users. Like I said, Power BI is a business and enterprise application to consume data and build business intelligence report. All right. So that is what we do with that. So next slide. Now, want to now talk about what image you are seeing right in front of you. Actually talk about different sources, all right? So Power BI is used in visualizing data gotten from different data sources. Now, we have different data sources where you can actually bring in your Power BI. From what you see here, you see that you can actually position your, or what's it called now? From web, from Access, from Excel, from SQL, from MailChimp, from cloud, and then you have everything come to where? To Power BI, and then you now eventually see your your dashboard. So that means Power BI allows you to get your data from any of these sources, not limited to actually, not limited to. You can have as numerous, you can have from web, you can have from different sources actually. So of course, if you notice, in this class alone, we have made use of Microsoft Excel, you have made use of SQL. So that means the data we have been taught in, what's it called now? The data we have used in Excel, the data we have used in SQL, we can bring these two together and then use them in our Power BI. Does that make sense, anybody? Let me know at the comment section if what I said just now made sense to you. All right? So that means the data we have used in Microsoft Excel class and of course in SQL class, we can bring all of this and then make a report with it in our Power BI. Yes, it does. Thank you. Great. Amazing. So that means you guys are following me carefully. All right. Next. Now, the supported operating system. I saw some person saying the other time that they have maybe I have Windows 10, Windows 11. I want to believe there's nobody in this class that still have Windows 7. I don't want to believe, right? So in case you are still that person, I think you need is a real system upgrade. You really need a system upgrade as soon as possible. All right. So let's say the least you can have is a Windows 10 or Windows 8 is also becoming obsolete actually, except it's a Windows 8 server, right? So you need this, of course, if there are Windows servers, maybe 2012 and all of that, they are very, very compatible for Power BI. And the reason is because so that you can have good use, so that you can have good use for this, so that you can maximize all you are doing, so that you can maximize the report and the results you are getting with this as well. So that is why you need to use a very good okay, the presentation will be made available to us. The presentation will be made available to us. Okay, now of course, for every users of Microsoft Windows, you understand that when you want to install or download an application, it requests the bit of your system. This is a program file now for your computer. Either you are using a 32-bit or 64-bit, depending on what you are using. What do I do if my system threatens to shut down if I upgrade my Windows? Of course, if you need to upgrade your Windows, it will ask you that to shut down and restart. That's a normal thing. You can't shut down or you can't upgrade your window while your system is up. So if I get that right, if your system is asking or threatening to shut down, it means it needs to perform that operation you want to ask it to do. So without that, I think you won't be able to do that. So depending on the bit of your system, that's your program file now, you need to understand that if you are using a 32-bit, you will need to get a Microsoft Power BI desktop application for 32-bit. And if you are using a 64-bit, you will need to get a 64-bit. So please, you need to understand which one your system aligns with, and then you can get. And also, please note, for those of us that have not gotten Power BI, just don't worry. In the course of this class, I will just do a little model of what you can actually do to see how you can actually, what's it called now? Just a moment, please. All right. So what that means is that you can actually get the earliest version of what you are. Just a moment. I will be showing us what you actually need to do to actually get that installation workable for you. Okay. So now let's move to the next slide. Now this is the installation steps. So the installation steps is how do you get to do this? How do you get to install this? All right. So Tech, please, can you help me pull my screen on this for us to see so that I can share this here, because I will need to do something with Google right now. Can you please let me share my screen? Okay. Just a moment, please. I need to share the entire window. Just a moment, please. Okay. Yes. So let's have that up so that I can do a quick. Okay, great. Can we all see now? Can we all see my? Just a moment. All right. So now, what we want to do is we want to take a look at how, for those that do not have this installed, please, if you do not have this installed before, you are the one probably I'm talking to right now. So, but then if you have your, what's it called now? If you have your Power BI installed, so let's just go to what? Microsoft Power BI download. So once you just click Microsoft Power BI download, just click on Microsoft Power BI download. You see this first one that's here? You see this one? This first one here. So you click on it. If you click on it, it will definitely take you to where? It will take you to a Microsoft site. It will take you to a Microsoft site, right? It will take you to. So once you are here, did you see this download Power BI desktop? Now listen. If you are able to download it while the class is up, fine. If you are not able to, not to stress yourself at all. Do you understand?
Do not bother yourself at all about it, because we're still going to give you time, enough time to do that. Of course, you still have enough time to do that. So don't stress yourself if you're not able to download it while the class is up. So I'm just need to show us this link. So when you just click on Power BI download, if I click on this now, it takes me directly to where? To a Microsoft application. Of course, if you're a window user, you will see that now. So it has taken me out of the window, and that's why probably you might not be able to see that. So, but then that is what it will do, and then you can now click and install. All right. So, but then what are those things you're going to be seeing while you are installing? What are those things you're going to be seeing? Those are the things we want to look at now. So just pay attention as we continue. All right. Just pay attention. Now, look at this now. Once you're about to install it, we of course ask you for the language with which you want to install with, and then you of course you're able to share that you are using what? English, except you are probably in a foreign country, and then you are okay with the language that is asking you. So please you select your what? Your English, and then you click on this download button. All right. I hope we are getting along now. I hope we are getting along. Now, this is what I mentioned the other time. You see now, when it was asking what? The download you want. Now, if you are using, if your system is a 32-bit system, you pick a lesser version. And then if your system is a 64-bit, you pick the higher version. All right. The Power BI download is requesting for official or office email. No, don't go that route. All right. That's why I said just go to your, for those of us that now, you can just go to your set and go to your Microsoft, what's it called now? Office on your system. Okay, I am too fast. All right, let me take it a little slower. Let me take it a look. Can we download on mobile application? No. You cannot download Power BI desktop on mobile app. I explained the other time that your Power BI mobile application, you can actually download Power BI mobile app, but you cannot do anything with it. You can only view the progress of your project. Like I mentioned, if you listen when I was talking about the three services, that is your Power BI desktop, the Power BI service, and the Power BI mobile application. So either of these three, they have their own different functionality, and they are all connected together. All right. So if you have Power BI and you don't know the version, you can easily just look at your down somewhere around here, you see that if you need an update, it will tell you, and then you can click there to update your, how do I know my bit? If 32-bit or 64-bit, just go to your system program files and then check your system program files, and then you see your bit of system. You can also check maybe Windows to check your Windows settings to check the configuration of your system. Once you check the configuration of your system, you will know what bit your system is. Is it possible to have an online Power BI instead of downloading on the system? My laptop is not compatible. What kind of laptop did you use? Can we download through Microsoft Store? Exactly. That was what I was saying. Microsoft Store. That is the easiest way, actually. If you have Microsoft Store, just go to your Microsoft Store and then just type Power BI. It will bring it out to you directly, and then you have it installed immediately. So you don't need to stress yourself. So you are still asking that I zoom in my screen. So let me see if this will work. All right. So that is that. Okay. Let me see. Is it better now? All right. So now, so once you have installed, if my system is 64-bit, can I install a lower base? What do you mean by a lower base? You want to install a 32-bit. If you install a 32-bit, it might work, but then you might not enjoy the functionality. So why would you want to install a 32-bit if your system is a 64-bit? Now, I need to actually pay attention to some of these questions, because while you are trying to do this installation, you might not see me. So that's why I'm trying to look at the questions, and then I'm trying to take them as I am seeing them. All right. So please don't download a lower base. Don't. Is it that I'm just learning because I don't have a PC or laptop and I really want to learn? Oh, really? You will really need a system to go along with this class. You are Power BI desktop. Glory to God. So just follow us. Okay, yours has a 4 483.6 and 521.5 in the option. Yes, because just be sure you are downloading the latest update. The one you might see here that I preview might not be the latest. That is why you saw the size kind of small here, because there are older or there are updated versions with it. There are updated versions with it. I should recap from where Blessing Davis. Does that mean you're just joining this class? Because I don't know exactly where I should recap from. Okay, so now it's taking you to Microsoft Store. Yes, Microsoft Store is where you need to download it. Once you get to Microsoft Store, just search for Microsoft Power BI. Just search for it, and then you'll be able to download. Come down to our levels. How can we check the system bit? Okay, so how can you check your system bit? Well, just do Control E. Just do Control E on your system. Control E. If you press Control E on your computer, it will take you to the system properties. On that system, you can now right click and check properties. Does that person get what I just said? From anywhere you are, I can't do that on my system because some of my credentials will be made open here, and I have not made plans to do that in this class. All right. So what you just need to do is do Control E. Once you do Control E, it will go to my computer, or you just go to my computer. Once you get to my computer, right click anywhere in the area and then check properties. When you're on properties, it will tell you the bit of your system. Does that make sense now? You downloaded yours in August. All right. So now, one thing about Power BI is that Power BI releases monthly updates. They releases monthly update. But then if what you have is August this year, I think you are still okay. You are still okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you. That works, right? Thank you. All right. So how many assignments? I don't understand. Is this person distracting us? Is it possible we get the software? Are you in this class? This person that is asking this question. If I begin to see irrelevant question, maybe I'll just continue with my slide because I don't want to get too distracted. I'm trying to see people who really need immediate attention. That's why I'm trying to check some of those questions. But if I'm beginning to see that some of these questions are forms of distractions, I might have to take my eyes off them. Okay? All right. So now, are we downloading a Power BI desktop or Power BI report builder? I have mentioned this over and over. What you are using is a Power BI desktop. I have not even mentioned anything about report builder. I have not even mentioned that. All right. Thank you so much, Bobomi, for helping that person. Go to settings, then click system, then click about. Boom, you will see the bit. Thank you so much for that. All right. So my system is only 32-bit. Wouldn't All right, let's continue. Since the question I'm seeing there. Now, once you start your installation, by the time you start your installation, you will get to see something like this, and then your installation is about to begin. Say, welcome to Microsoft Power BI Desktop 64-bit setup wizard. So as the case may be, you can have either, please ask relevant questions if you want me to still continue to check on these comment sections, please. Thank you for that person that is also mentioning it. All right. So now, when you get to your dialog box wizard here, you will see that the setup wizard will install Microsoft Power BI Desktop on your computer. Then we ask you, click next to continue. Did you see? Click next to continue. So when you click on next, you will see something like your status bar. Status bar will only show you that you have accepted the license agreement and then follow the instruction. This is just typically simple. It's gradually downloading. Thank you. Favor is already doing the downloading, the installation already. All right. So it's that easy. So for MacBook users, please, what do we do? In all honesty, I will soon get to a part where I'll actually talk about the functionalities and the challenging parts. If you will have to go that route, if you're a MacBook user, you will spend more. And as a matter of fact, I cannot even assure you that even after spending, you will not still have this application crashed. All right. So I can tell you that even after now, so listen, if you are having any challenging with your downloading your application, the Telegram group will be very available to assist after this moment, will be available to assist to ensure everybody gets solutions to downloading their Power BI, of course, before the next class. So this class, we are not going to be exploring or doing much with it at all. So just rest yourself, right? I just downloaded Power BI. Thank you so much, Bukola, for saying that. You just downloaded it. Interesting. Those are the kind of comment I want to see. Has any other person been able to do that? It didn't show me the dialog box, but it's downloading. Yes, it's downloading because you are first downloading. So after downloading, by the time you click on the installation app, it will show you the dialog box. So just wait for it, all right? Just wait for it. I downloaded mine since last year, sir. Can I still use it since Microsoft updates Power BI every month? Yes, all you just need to do is update it. If you have it installed already, just update. Can you recommend the YouTube? Just go on the YouTube. I don't need to recommend anything. Just go on the YouTube. How can you download Power BI if that is what you need? Just download it. Thank you so much, Pelumi. I'm downloading mine. Yes, this is the kind of good news I want to be seeing. It's downloading slowly and steady. Interesting. Downloading, downloaded, and installation ongoing. Thank you. Leonimba Resources. Leonimba Resources, where are you from, if I may ask? Let me see at the comment section. I'm waiting to hear because I like that name actually. Leonimba. All right. Yes, I like that. Downloading. Mine is downloading. Okay, great. I've downloaded mine. For MacBook users, you can convert your Mac to Windows. See, right? When somebody give you that counsel, that advice, I will tell you, you will still encounter some challenges with it. I will tell you for free. Of course, you can actually bring up a VM, your virtual machine, and then you can do that, but then it still has its own implication. Let's continue with what we're doing here. All right. So once you have your installation, the status bar gradually, and then once you are done, it will also ask you that do you want to open it. You used Microsoft Store and it is faster. So please, if you have not been able to, just go to your Microsoft Store and then go that route. It is actually faster. And then you can actually get the latest update. I mean, the latest download options from your Microsoft Store. Thank you. I like that Microsoft, I like that people are giving me updates of their downloading. That is very, very interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. Installed from Microsoft Store. Amazing. Thank you. Downloaded. Yes. Oh, sorry. If NEPA is showing you Shege, it is well. All right. I just downloaded mine, but it's showing a screen different from yours. Okay. Use Microsoft Store. All right. So if it's showing a screen different from mine, just wait and then you will soon be on the same pace. Right. Because I know you can't possibly have a later download version than I do. I'm not even sure October release is out yet. So if you're talking about September download, I think I still have something like that. Yes, the file is about 756 MB. So that's there about the latest update. All right, so now this is the interface. This is your interface. So when you are done, it's a web Power BI is installed. It launches a welcome screen. This screen is used to launch different options related to getting data, enriching the exciting or the existing data models, create your what? Your report, as well as publishing and sharing the report. Now, this is what you will see. Of course, some of us will see something that look like a green welcome that you need to do is just to close that dialog box. It will ask you to sign in. If you are saying that, you don't need to stress yourself. Don't sign in. Just close that dialog box. Just close that dialog box. So depending on the version you are downloading, that is also the size you are seeing. If you are seeing 700 and something MB, you most likely be downloading a latest version. If you are seeing a 500 and something MB, you are also seeing a particular version. Whichever version you are seeing, you can also update your version at any point in time. Is this making sense, please? I hope nobody is missing in this class. So Lawal is asking, so if I download now, will I have to keep updating the Power BI every month? If you want. If you stop updating every month, maybe there are some months where they will release some new updates and that you might not be able to work with those updates until you update your system or your application. So yes, thank you. So for you, really, updating will not actually cost you a fortune. because you will definitely be using what you are working with. So that updating as it were is something, in fact, nobody will tell you to do that. You just get to do it because you know you need it. All right. So now we're looking at what? Our report, and then here on this report, this is where we are going to be working with, right? So tonight I'm still going to be opening my own Power BI for us to see, but just for the sake of this presentation, let me still continue with my presentation for now. So I don't want to talk about the functionalities of this home page yet, because I will still be sharing that with us at a later time. All right, now, what are the components of the Power BI? You know, of course, I think I've shared this with us earlier. Now, the Power BI desktop, for someone that was asking for a recap the other time, downloaded successfully. Thank you, Kate. I think you are the only facilitator that took time to lead us in the process of downloading, which slowed down my pace of learning since inception. Thank you. Wow. All right. Well, you should as well, please just pick it up from here, such that one thing you also need to understand is that we need to also maximize time so that we don't get to waste too much time on some of these things. So I deliberately had to spend a whole class to do this, and then allow people take their time and then make sure the installation is done. So if I should assume that everybody has installed this and then we'll go into working with Power BI tonight, I know quite a number of us might not be able to follow through. So that is why we are taking time to do this tonight, so that everybody will be able to learn along. Thank you. I like that. Amadine, downloaded and launched. Good. Yours is not downloading. Please check that you have a good internet connection. You thought you needed to go through the installation process first. Okay, if you have to also, it's fine. So Power BI Desktop, like I said the other time, it is used to create report and data visualization on your data set. You remember when I was saying the other time, when you are working with Excel, you were able to create some dashboard, right? That is your report. So you can also do that with what? Power BI Desktop. Like I said again, or like I said the other time, I'm saying again, Power BI Desktop is majorly used to create your report. And I have not asked any one of us here to download a report builder. What I just said is your what? Power BI Desktop. If you have not been able to download yours, then you are one of those that is delaying us. So please, the installation is taking time. Of course, depending on how strong your connectivity is. So the Power BI gateway, of course, this is the premise gateway to keep data fresh by connecting to your on-premises data source without the need to move the data. Now, what does this do? So the gateway is a function of where you are getting your sources from, your data sources, I mean now, from. So if you are getting a data source, particularly if you need to work with a large data set now, you will consider working with something like a database management system, maybe like SQL or other query management system. All right. So if you are working relatively with a data that is not so big as it were, you can now use some other data, maybe like a Google Sheet or your Microsoft Excel. So Power BI mobile application said you can stay connected to their data from anywhere, to your data from anywhere. Your Power BI mobile apps are available for Windows, iOS, and of course for Android platforms. You know, I mentioned that the other time, right? Okay, thank you to Holu Olawuniojo. Thank you. All right. So like I said, so your Power BI mobile applications can do so much, right? It can do so much that when you are working on a particular report, as you are saving up your report in your Power BI services, you can actually see the project or the progress on your Power BI mobile application. All right. And of course, I would love that you, as much as you are able to download your Power BI desktop, you can choose to download your Power BI what's it called now, application. Of course, you might not have need for it now, but definitely by the time you start working as a business intelligence analyst now, you will see the need for it. Your Power BI is 2.5 gig, like 2.5 gig. Please be sure you are downloading from the right source. Okay. Please recheck. Somebody is also already asking you that you should please do it to recheck. Now, the last one here is the Power BI service. Like I've mentioned, this is a cloud service and it's used to publish Power BI. Now, let me say this. Your report and your dashboard, you can actually make it collaborative such that when you are working with it, you can actually log into your Microsoft account, and then you publish your report. When you publish your report, what are you doing? What you are doing is you are connecting other stakeholders or people who are also enterprise users, enterprise application users, to also have access to this report you are building. Of course, there are levels of permissions to this, granting of permission. It's just like when you're working with a Google Sheet. You know, when you're working with a Google Sheet, you can actually add as many users. I can actually share a link here and I said, everybody click on this link. But on that same link, I can only give, or I can as well give just a viewer access, such that everybody can only have access to view. You cannot edit my work, particularly if I'm not sure of what you can do with it. So those are level of what? Grant or access that you can grant, and then you can do that with Power BI service. So it's a cloud service, and what it means is that you are also saving your report in the cloud. Does that make sense? Are we still together? Are we still together, guys? Are we still together? All right. Now, look at this next slide. This next slide talked about what? I had to go back and choose another option on Google. Okay, maybe it was the option you chose, right? Please check very well. Better still, go through the route of your Microsoft store. Go through the route of your Microsoft store, and then you will have the best and the right link that you need. I hope that makes sense now. Okay. Oh, good. Luakemi, Power BI launched. Great. Amazing. I like that. I like that we're making progress in this class. If you are making progress, let me see your most favorable emoji at the comment section. Let me see. If you like fire, come on, give me some fire emojis. If you like some flex of muscles, let me see it. If you like a laugh, simile, something like that, let me see at different ones. Let me see. I want to allow this app to make change to my device. Wow, Tony Steven, this is scary. I like that, Favor. I like that. We should keep swearing. Let's fly. Great. I like the dancer as well. Great. Okay, amazing, guys. Interesting. Let's continue. Now, Power BI architecture. So what are we doing, or what are we talking about architecture? Now, I remember when we talked about Microsoft Excel too, there was one of the class section, I think it was the very first class actually, that we talked about the architecture as well. And what does the architecture actually talk about? Now, you will understand one after the other what I was explaining the other time. Now, this is my Power BI desktop, right? On my Power BI desktop is where I have my application installed, right? Now, once I have it installed, everything I want to do on this place will come from my what? External data sources. Did you see my data sources here? They come from my data sources. My data sources can either be, I can have Microsoft Excel, I can have SQL, I can have web, I can have Access, I can have different kind of data sources, right? From different data sources. So all this, they go through a particular place, you get the data, and then you work with it here. So you organize your data. Now, your Power BI gateway is telling you that whichever way you are trying to get your data source, which route, are you using online service or you are using offline service, all right? So if you have been able to bypass that, then your Power BI service now saves your project in the cloud. And then, like I mentioned, this your mobile application, now your Power BI mobile apps can in real time view the project of your work. Maybe in one of the tests or quiz you're going to be taking, some of this will be asked of you. Let me also say this, and I know that we have people who are also passionate about maybe professional exams or certification exams here. These are some of the questions that you will actually be asked. Of course, you need to understand some of these bases. Of course, you might just need to just read that length and then understand, and then don't worry, you will be writing some quizzes even in this area, and some of your quiz questions will actually come from certification exams. I can assure you. So that means you need to really pay attention to whatever you are learning as well. I think I have given you guys some expo already. Very interesting class. I like that. Thank you, Linda Upoju. All right, I want to know. Let me just do a little break here. Okay, maybe when we come back from break, I will do that. Let's continue very quickly. Let's see how much you can still do. I'm almost done with my slide, and then I can continue then show my application. Maybe for this first part of this class, we'll just share this slide. And then when we are coming back at the second part of the class, I will now pull up my Power BI. And then for every other person that has been able to download and install theirs as well, we are just going to do a run through, right? As a Mac user, I don't get that. Can using the Power BI web version again, or should I update the app? I really do not understand that question. Maybe you need to come back. Thank you so much. I like that. Thank you for the worthy comments and all of that. Thank you. They're amazing. All right. So please do not forget. Let me say this again. Whatever you have learned from Microsoft Excel to SQL, it is now time for you to showcase them, because let me tell you, before you end this training, actually, we can have 1 or 2 persons that will be actually ready for job. And I mean it. Excel alone can actually give you or qualify you to land yourself a job. Excel alone, all right, can actually land you a job. Excel alone. I'm saying it again. Excel, your SQL can help. So when you now have all of this, why we are doing all of this together combined is such that you can have a robust platform to say that you have an idea of this, you have an idea of that, you have an idea of that. And by the time we start working with our project, why? I don't know why some of us are just running ahead of the facilitator. I've not even started talking about this particular slide in front of me, and you're already asking questions from that slide. I just hope you are listening to what I'm talking about. I just hope so. All right. So now what I'm saying is, so that you can actually have a good ground to land, you can actually be an Excel expert. Okay, from my last slide. Did you mean this slide? Okay, let me quickly do this because I know we are close to break period, right? Let me quickly do that so that we can go back. Now, what does this mean? This is the architecture. The architecture I was talking about the other time, I have just brought a pictorial view for you to see so that you know. Now, everything you are seeing here, maybe the only thing you can actually relate with is this, which is your laptop. This is your Power BI desktop. So once you install this is the only thing you will see. Every other thing you have here, you might not see them, Andy, but they are applications that happen underneath. They are what? Applications that happen underneath. So if you need to update your Power BI, I will show you when we launch our. Thank you so much, Adiko Adamlala. I like that. All our teachers are so amazing. Thank you so much for that. That's a very good one. That's a very good one. So please, like I was saying the other time, everything you are doing now from your Excel, the dashboard, you are, in fact, if you have the dashboard built already, like from your Microsoft Excel, and then you have populated it on your GitHub, you can do well to share it with us on the Telegram group. I am on the Telegram group. All your facilitators are on the Telegram group. You understand? And the TAs are also there in case we are not saying it on time. They will definitely get it across to us and then we can make use of it. All right. So now this is all about this architecture for the person that requested for this. So my mobile application is just for you to check the update of your project. If you have created one with your Power BI desktop, you cannot see or you cannot work with your mobile application if you have not created a project with your Power BI desktop. Does that make sense, right? If you want to update your PI, I say wait, hold on. When we get there, we will talk about it. All right. All right. Now, so supported data sources. Like I said the other time, there are quite a number inexhaustible databases that we can actually use, right? Power BI support a large range of data sources. You can click get data and it shows you all. So when we get there, I will show you what this means. What this means is that you can actually get a whole tons and lot of data. Look at the list of them. Flat files. What are flat files? Your flat files are your Excel, CSV, all those comma separated files. They are your what? They are flat files. Okay, so those are flat files. Then your SQL database, your SQL structured query language, right? Your ordinary data field, that's your old database, right? So when you see a DB means database. All right, so ODB, your database connection to connect. So you can have that. So your data sources, you can have them in different ways. So anywhere you see your DBs, they actually talk about database. All right. So you can have different database management system. So in case you are saying that DBMS, what is DBMS? DBMS is your database management system. You can actually take from blank query. You can also have your what Azure cloud platform. That's also in another cloud services. Online services. Your online services can even be your Google Sheet. How many of us have worked with Google Sheet at any point in time here in this class? If you have, let me see at the comment section. Say I have. Thank you. I like that. Yes. He's saying connection cannot be made. How? Okay, great. Be sure you have a licensed Microsoft account. For those of you that you are saying that the connection cannot be made, I don't know. When I mean licensed account, if your operating system, that means your Windows is genuine, you should not have this issue. Server stumbled. I'm using Windows 10. Please be sure you have a license OS on your system. So that's blank with then other data sources such as Adobe, Exchange, Active Directory, all these are cloud services. Now, these are some of the data sources like I mentioned. These are some of, we have Excel, we have SQL Server. Now, at least you can relate to these first two, right? You see text and CSV, you see web, you can still relate to some of these, right? Because you have worked with them. By the time we start our presentation, working on the BI, you will understand and then you will see how interesting all this looks. Now, to get data in Power BI Excel, you need to click Get Data. This is the Get Data icon, and then you can continue. Interesting thing is that just like all those things you learned, all the buttons you learned while you are working with Excel, all those you see, they are just relatable, even in Power BI. Of course, they are made by the same Power BI successfully downloaded. Thank you for the persistence. I like that. All right. So this is just a few of more of where you can get your data sources. You can actually get it more. So there's no need. Now, listen to this part. This part is very, very important. Now, comparison with other BI tools. Now, BI, like I said here, is a business intelligence tools. There are quite a number of business intelligence tools that we can actually use, right? There are many business intelligence tools such as Tableau. How many of us have heard about Tableau before now? Now you're hearing of Power BI in case you have not heard about it before now. And then you have SSRS. SSRS is also one of the tools, just like, what do you call this now? SPSS, something like that, among others. But a major competitive value as a result of market evaluation exists between Power BI and Tableau. I take that again. A major competitive value as a result of market evaluation exists between two tools. Number one is what? Power BI, and number two is what? Tableau. Now, I know some of us have said that, well, why are we not using Tableau? Why Power BI? Or why this and that? Just in a short while, you will see the difference between the two, and then you will also think, which one do you think we should use for this class? You have learned about Tableau before now. Interesting. All right, let's look at the little differences between Tableau and Power BI. And what are we going to use? We're going to be using their features. Their features is what we want to use. So considering their features, we will see what we can do with Tableau and what we can do with Power BI and how that can affect what we are doing currently. Now, number one is data visualization. Now, Tableau provides strong data visualization, right? And is one of the main data visualization tools in the market, no doubt about it. Tableau provides strong data visualization and is one of the main data visualization tools. What about Power BI? Provides a strong back-end data manipulation feature with access to simple visualizations. Now, let me explain what that means. A strong back-end data manipulations in the sense that when you have a rough data, you can actually perform so many basic operations with your data before you visualize it. But why Tableau is limited in that area, Power BI does so much of that. You are going to be seeing that in this class as we progress. All right? You are going to be seeing that. So that means Power BI is combining one other function apart from visualization. That is what? Backend manipulation. So he's able to, when we mean manipulation here, we're not actually talking about falsifying of records. We're actually saying that you can clean. You can change some record to get what you actually want to see. All right. Setup success. Amazing. I'm trying to highlight that so that people who are doing it will enjoy that we are recognizing them. The size of data set. Now, Tableau can connect much larger data sets as compared to Power BI. Tableau can connect how much larger data sets as compared to what? Power BI. So, but Power BI has a limit of 1 gig data in free version. Of course, maybe I forgot to mention also, Power BI Desktop is the free version of Microsoft Power BI. There is a Microsoft Premium version. I mean Power BI now, premium version. The free version is the desktop version. So, but we are now saying that this free desktop version can take as large as 1 gig data. Now tell me, how many of us have worked with data, a data set that has a size of 20 MB, not 20 gig, 20 MB megabytes? You have worked, I mean, you have a really large data set that is up to 20 megabytes. So for Eddie, like I said, if you are using MacBook, you will have limitations working in this class, because even if you have a virtual machine installed, you will have challenge along the line. So we advise right from time, because Power BI is a Microsoft application and a Windows enabled program. So they are not in good terms as far as now is concerned with iOS. So that is why there is a bit of challenge. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, the selling point of Microsoft, this is one of the selling point of Microsoft. If the day, let me even tell you point blank, the day MacBook is able to penetrate the market of Microsoft, and then they are able to have all of that in their services, Microsoft is done for. I mean, people will shift entirely. So this is one of the reasons why people still keep, as a matter of fact, based on or because of what I'm doing, my priority is a Windows PC. Can I afford a MacBook? Of course I can, in my own little way. But then, what is my priority? My priority is a Windows PC. Don't sign in. If you are saying, should I sign? Don't sign in. Just close that icon that is requesting you to sign in, and then you will see your own page. All right. I think people are already talking about break, since we are used to going for break. Let me check with my technicals. Okay, so let's continue. At least we'll get the break shortly. Let me just quickly wrap up with this particular slide. All right. So I've spoken about the size of the data set, right? So now the next thing we want to talk is data source. Now, Tableau covers a vast range of data sources to connect with data visualization. In Tableau, you select the data set first, and visualization are used on the fly. Now, Power BI covers most of the data sources available in Tableau. Do you see that? That's a 1-1 game. So everything you see in Tableau, Power BI adds the functionality. So it is closely integrated with Office 365, hence provides. Now, let me tell you something, guys. For people requesting for these materials, you also understand that there's something we call, what do we call now? The infringement property, right? So that some of these, that is why we are not releasing all of this material immediately, is because we need to also be sure there are things we can share out. Some of these are something that we put together from different sources, and then we can also be sure where. So we will do our best to share some of this with us as much as we are able to do that. All right. So now, It is closely integrated with Office 365, hence provide connectivity to SharePoint. Now, what is connectivity to SharePoint? If you don't understand what that means, is that you can even have easy access to some other Microsoft functionality like SharePoint, which looks more like your Google Drive. That's more like another storage. That is, Microsoft 365 has its own. You remember when ID was teaching us Excel, and then he was making mention of his own kind of a application that you use, Office 365, right? Yes. So Office 365 is an enterprise version of Microsoft Office that you have. It is not free. Yes, you need to subscribe to get that. So that is Office 365. So once you have Office 365, it's a paid application actually. So once you have that, you have an access to a SharePoint. The SharePoint is more like your Google Drive, like a place where you can also do some data storage. Now, then we have Power BI online version also supports direct visualization on search engine, though only Blink is supported at this point. So Power BI supports direct visualization on search engine. So that means you can still do some level of online visualization. So all of this you get to see. Now, look at this last point. This last point is talking about what? Costing. Costing. On Tableau, Tableau is expensive as compared to Power BI, but still under budget for small and medium enterprise. I know some of us, we have organizations, we are already making money. But what about people who are just starting up? What about people who are just looking for what to start with and then how they want to achieve something? Just a moment, please. Okay, so I think we will go on our break shortly. Let me just finish this last point. So Tableau is expensive as compared to what Power BI, but it's still not. But then Power BI provides a what? A free version with 1 gig limit on data sets. So Power BI Pro is also a cheaper solution. Can you see that? That is even the premium version. Even the premium version is also a cheaper solution when compared with other business intelligence tools. So excuse me, what other thing are you looking for? If this class had been very, very amazing before we go on break, I need you to comment at the comment section. I said amazing, amazing, amazing. And probably you have one or two persons who have not even joined the class yet. Please get them on board so that they don't miss out in this class. When we come back from the break, we are going to continue on this our presentation, and then we can now share our screen for us to see live demo. Thank you very much, everyone, and see you back in the next 5 minutes after our break. Thank you. Enjoy your break. While you're on break, make sure you sign your attendance. Thank you. All right. You're welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So, are we all back now? Okay. People want to connect. And say this long break is needed. Is your head hot? Okay. All right. Let's continue. Okay. Great. I like that. Now, so I've spoken about how Tableau is expensive as compared to Power BI, but then Power BI provide a free version with 1 gig limit on data set, and Power BI Pro is also cheaper solution when compared with another BI tool. So that means our best bet for a class like this is actually a Power BI. Now let me say this again. I mentioned this the other time. It's important we understand this. The reason why we are actually taking us through this different track is because we want us to have wanted us to have a foundational knowledge in all of this track. All right. So that is why we started with Microsoft Excel, we did SQL, and then now Power BI. You ordinarily don't have to be a pro in all of this field, actually. Maybe just your Excel and BI can just be your own major tool. Your SQL and your BI can just be your major, because BI is actually a major visualization tool. So you can combine BI with any of these other. So it's not a must. You combine the three. You can just be. And that is why we had to bring in people who are proficient in all of these areas. Does that make sense at all? If by now, Faye Daniels, you are still waiting for Canvas invitation, when did you join this class? If by now you are still waiting for Canvas invitation after the 7th week, okay, great. Let's continue. All right. So now, thank you, Meni. Okay. So now the next thing we want to look at is what? Data modeling. Now, data modeling. What is data modeling? Or what do we call it? You see that most times people say, okay, we are modeling our data, we are doing this, and what does it actually mean? So what it means is that the relationship that exists between different data that we are considering in our what data source from our different data sources. Now, say for instance, if you have something like an inventory sales of an organization, Cheers said SQL no follow at all. Well, he said, why is everybody? I always say, thank God, because that SQL, man. So the idea is this. Let me say this again. You might not need to become an expert in all of this area. Does that make sense? You don't need to become an expert in there. All right. If you can't hear anything, can anybody hear me clearly? Can anybody hear me clearly? Let me know at the comment section if I'm audible enough. I'm seeing the kind of comment people are bringing when it comes to SQL, and I'm laughing. Okay, so SQL has a bit of an intermediate level in it, right? Don't worry. Some of you that you are saying that you don't want to have anything to do with it, you don't know, maybe tomorrow you just land yourself a job, a gig that will warrant to do, and then the elementary knowledge you have in it will just be a good ride for you. Don't worry. We'll be here and you will share the testimony with us, because it will be a fine one. It will be a great one. All right. Yes, thank you. So in case you cannot hear me, it means your network is interrupted. Data modeling. Now, what data modeling is that when you want to actually connect multiple data together using what we call a relationship. You want to what? Connect multiple data together using a relationship. Now, just careful. I know you might not see this picture very well, but then don't worry. Whatever I'm doing now, like I said, is just an introductory class, right? Look at this is one table, this is another table, and here let's assume this is another table. Now these three tables assumingly as like okay, let's use this two. If did you see this? Did you see this between here? This between is showing that there is a relationship. There's a relation. Of course, I agree with you, Simisola. He did an excellent work, very detailed, and I agree with you. The XQL instructor did an excellent. Yes, he did. He poured out all of this, and I agree with you. Yes. So now, the if you notice here, there is this relationship between these two, and for every relationship to actually exist in a particular data source or different data source, now there must be a primary key. Now, let me explain the concept of primary key. I know you must have heard about it in SQL. The concept of primary key says that what is that unique attribute that exists between the two tables? What is that unique attribute that exists between two tables? Say, for instance, we have table one as a let's say sales inventory, right? And on that sales inventory, we have a ID, we have product name, we have product price, we have email. Now we now have table two. We now have customer data, right? Are you please following me? Are you following me? So because I want to ask you guys a question now. So the second one is the customer data, and on that customer data, we now have a ID, we have a name, we have email address, we have products. So what do you think would be our primary key from that data that I just mentioned now? Let me see at the comment section in case you are following me. Amazing. Folashade Ajayi, you're the first to. No, it wasn't Folashade. Okay, great. Okay. Please, let's leave the matter of SQL now. Let's focus. Thank you. ID is actually the primary key because it is on both table, both for customer table. You know that obviously every business will need a customer to patronize that business. So when we have an inventory store, if we don't have the customer data, the inventory store will just be, and then there will be no transaction. All right. So that ID is what we will now use to model and such that from the inventory of the organization and then the customer table, we can bring them together and then we can tell a story about that organization. That is what we call data modeling. And this story is what we now call the relationship. So that relationship that existed between different data sources is what we call relationship. That's modeling now. So now, and this kind of relationship can actually be for people that have a computer background. You have maybe one-to-one relationship, many-to-many relationship, many-to-one relationship, one-to-one relationship, many-to-one relationship, and then many-to-many relationship. So that means one customer can buy more than one product, right? And many customers can actually buy just one product. And many customers can buy many products. Does that make sense? If it makes sense, type "make sense" at the comment section. Number one customer can buy just one product. One customer can buy many products. Many customer can buy just one product, and then many customer can buy many products. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Thank you. Okay, great. Now, let's continue. So that is that about what? Modeling. So when we get to the area where we're going to be using modeling, you'll see how that is done. So these allow businesses to define new metrics and to perform custom calculations. So when we get to a particular area or part of our analysis, we'll do some basic calculations and then very simple calculations actually. So this is our environment view. So for those that are saying that you probably are not seeing the other time, or you don't really understand. Now on this, we have three major views here. So we have the data view. When you click on this data view here, what you will see is something like this, which shows the data you are working with. So that's our data view. So, but then all of this is how you get to see, this is where you get your data from. And then once you click on this view, you see your data view, right? So next is the relationship or the model view. So this also happens on the same sheet. So that's the relationship I just spoke about now. So you can see the relationship between data sources. When you add multiple data sources to Power BI visualization, the tool automatically tries to detect relationship. There's a way it detects relationship. Don't stress yourself, right? You'll get to see all of this. So when you navigate the relationship tab, you can view the relationship. You can also create a relationship between your columns. You can create a relationship. You can detect relationship by itself, and you can also allow some relationship to just be on their own. Now, the last thing we want to look at is Power BI visualization. So creating simple visualization. I believe by now, everybody in this class understand what basic visualization looks like. So that means effectively present your data and are the basic building blocks of any business intelligence tool. Now, listen, there is no way you can actually convince. Let me tell us, or let me give us this definition again in case you don't know. What do we call a data analysis? Data analysis is the ability for you to convert an unstructured data, taking it through a process of structuring and then converting it, and the ability to tell a compelling story by bringing out insight in form of visualization. I hope that makes sense. Let me paraphrase again, or let me rephrase again. The ability for you to gather data, and then you are able to work or manipulate the data from unstructured to structured. That's the process you take it through, and then you are able to tell a story. Say, for instance, now when you are building that report with your Excel, do you realize that you're actually telling the story of that particular organization when you are doing the pivot and then you are bringing it to visualization? You are able to tell those stories to say that, okay, particular state has so many these sales and all of that, and then maybe from that you are able to come with insight to say that this particular organization would not even need this product for this year, because over the years this product has not actually done so much for the organization when it comes to profit making or generation. So this insight comes from when you have visualized your data, you can now begin to take those insights. That's what it means. You don't need to put your work email yet. You don't even need to sign in yet. That's why I said just pay attention. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. All right. So does that make sense now? So Power BI contains various default data visualization components. So you have different visualization components, just like you have your bar chart, your pie chart, your maps. In fact, as a matter of fact, in this class, we're going to be doing something very interesting. Of course, I know we have okay, so maybe we'll do a pool. What we'll just do is this. Before our next class, I'll just probably drop a link, and then I will just ask us, what are your expectations for this BI class? Now, in your expectation, I don't need you to write any story. All I just need you to write is just one word, or probably max two phrases, right, to make a word. Say, for instance, now, knowledge, career growth, money, all those words, just one word. So because we're going to be using that to show us something there and there in the class. Do you understand? So please, I hope my TA is aware, so that I can just remind me of this, so that we can do this, and then we want people to just feel that, and then we'll come up with a particular twist, and then you see what it looks like. Okay, been looking forward to learning Power BI for a while. Thank God for this opportunity. Please stay true to the opportunity. All right. So can I have a complex models such as waterfalls, funnels, gates, and other components. So in Power BI, you can create visualization in two ways. adding from the right side pane to report canvas, or is the type of visualization. So all of these, just do not stress yourself. You'll get to see them very shortly. Now, this is the way our visualization pan looks like. I'm liking this Power BI already. Career transition, exactly. So these are things I want to see. Just this alone is what I want to see. For Olubumi Patrick now, just put career transition, just put a knowledge, upskilling, all of those things. So those are things we want. Just what you don't need to write any story at all. So we'll do that. Now, look at this. Anytime you want to work as an analyst, please do not forget these 5 steps. Anytime you want to work as an analyst, do not forget these 5 steps. Number 1 is you want to define questions and goals. What are your goals? What are your objectives? And let me say this, sometimes when you are working on a project, you can do well, or when you get the data that you want to work with, you can do well to request for the objectives or the goal of this particular project. So when you get that objectives, you can read around it. I'm sure some of my friends, my colleagues gave us some sites where we can gather data. For instance, Kaggle, Fred, Google Data, DataGov, and all of them. So many places where you can gather those data. So you can also read a little about some of those data, such that when you want to work on them, it makes it easier for you. So the next thing is you want to collect data. For instance, now, do we have people who are football fans here? Football fans, football fans, football fans. Do we have them? Wow, our time is fast spent, and I still want to show us a bit of the environment tonight. Football fans, any football fan? I think this is the last slide, or maybe something the last. Check job acquisition. I like that. Football fans. So for people who are football fans, you might just want to be a sport analyst, and every research you are doing is just in the area of what? Sport. So if you are gathering data as well, you're collecting data that has to do with what? Yes, Liverpool. Hey, no wonder we are all ladies here. Only few people who love football. I can see Arsenal. Hey, Arsenal is also saying something. Hey, someone, and you are so proud of. Okay, right? No, no arms, right? That was just Chelsea. Chelsea also come. Oh, Abi, not Baka. Okay. Well, interestingly, I don't belong to any of this club. Super Eagles waiting the shell. All right, that was on a lighter mode, right? Just to lighten the mood. Okay, so we have different kind of. So you can actually just pick up data in those areas. So somebody who likes politics, you can just get to look for political data. You want to, for instance, maybe one of my students just pick up maybe data from the last census. No, not census. What's it called now? The last result they presented to us at the last election, right? And then he analyzed it and then came up with some based on what data they used, right? And then I saw some beautiful stuff with it. Or probably what you want to do is you want to just look at maybe entertainment industry, maybe YouTube analytics, Netflix. You love watching movies and all of that, seeing movies, and then you want to see how many movie has been released this year and all of those things. So then you want to determine your analysis. Determine your analysis. What are the questions you want to ask from the data? You want to now determine based on the question is what you don't want to analyze. Don't forget, all of these are what you are putting in your documentation. You remember, right? All of these questions as you're answering them is what you are putting in your what? Your documentation while you are profiling your report. And of course, you want to interpret your result. So while you are interpreting your result, you are gathering insight. And this insight, you are communicating it to your audience. Your audience can be your employer. Your audience can be whoever, maybe the gig you just landed. Your audience can be anybody, of course. Of course, who will also be your audience at one point in time. Because whatever you have done in the space of this training period, you will still have to also present it. All right, so, right, we still have DAX functions. Wow. DAX functions, let me just talk about it. This is a big thing, a big deal in Microsoft Data Power BI, right? So DAX function is simply called Data Analysis Expressions, DAX. DAX, Data Analysis Expressions. And this is where you perform your basic arithmetic operations. Now, you remember when you are working with Excel, all those functions you are calling, right? Remember equals to function, equals to this, equals to formal text equals to, yes, I see somebody who likes to work in the agri sector. Amazing. Those are the kind of people who want. You will remember somebody working with equals to all those functions. All those functions, we can only achieve them working with what? Data analysis expressions here. So they play an important role in the usage of DAX for modeling and reporting. So it is an inbuilt function provided in the DAX language and helps us to perform commonly used data calculations. Can you see that? So DAX additionally functions that are designed to work with relational data and perform dynamic aggregations. You see that? So all those basic aggregations we're doing, all those aggregations, so you will only do them with your what? DAX functions. So DAX is a formula language. So however, it is a formula language that allows the user to define custom calculations. So you can define your custom calculation. You will see all of this by the time we get to the class proper. So Excel functions versus DAX functions. You remember now, Excel functions, similarities between Excel function and DAX functions. So certain DAX functions have the same name and same general behavior as Excel functions. Some of us that really paid attention at the Excel, you would like understand DAX has lookup functions that are similar to array and vector lookup function in Excel. You see that? So, but then there are still differences. So DAX functions have been modified to take different types of inputs, and some of those inputs can come in different data types. So all of these are what we will be looking at. So the next thing is, let's get to work. Does it make sense so far? If it makes sense, come on, let me see at the comment sections that I have value for my time today. If you have value for your time today, let me see at the comment section. Type, let's get to work. Everybody type, let's get to work. All right. So just a moment. We need to all right, so let me just share my screen again. Just a moment, just a moment. Okay, let's have that up now. All right, so now what we want to do very quickly, just like in a few minutes, just maybe 5 minutes thereabout, is to show us this is my own interface. Now, can you see this is my own interface? For those of us, oh, I like that, getting interested. I really add value for my time today. Wow, good. Let's get to work. Thank you so much, Mr. TD. Thank you, Chinyere, favor. Let's get to work. Yes. You forgot class is interesting. I forgot attendance. Wow. All right. So please get back to the description and pick your attendance and sign in, because that is also important. So that when we are looking for people that attended the class, your name will not be found wanting. I have value for the class today. It's just that Power BI couldn't install. Don't worry. Let's just get to look at this together after now. Now, if you have launched your Power BI, you will probably possibly see a green icon that is telling you that you should log in. Like I said the other time, you don't need to log in. Just close that. And once you close that, you will see something like that look like this interface. How many of us have something like that look like this interface already? How many of us have something like that look like this interface? Let me see. Let me see. Say import Excel, import data from SQL, paste data into blank table, then type a sample data. How many of us has this something like this? I do. Correct. Great. I like that. You guys are really, really doing great. Wow, Habiola Olatayo, that shows you are coming really from behind. Okay. At least I'm able to do something for the past 3 weeks. What's that supposed to mean? All right. So now, in the remaining 3 to 5 minutes that I have more, what we just want to do is the interface of this Microsoft Power BI. Now, when the other time I was showing us something, look at this place. Let me try and zoom in my screen. Oh, okay. So quite unfortunate. This cannot go. This particular part cannot be zoomed. So it is just the canvas area that I'm able to zoom in. So all these parts I am not able to. Well, please just try and pay attention. Now here, if you see, you see this three pane that is here. One is showing data view, the other is showing report view, and the last is showing your what? Your model view. So those are your view panels that we are talking about the other time. Those are your view panels that we are talking about the other time. All right. So the first one that talks about our report view. Now, that is where we are currently here. And on this report view, this is where we build our report. This is where we call this place canvas. We call it what? This is our canvas. Yes, if you have 4, amazing. Those are the people that have exactly. The fourth one will be DAX, right? The fourth one will be DAX, right? Yes, that's query view. Now, for those of us that are actually talking about, I have maybe an obsolete version and I don't have this in. See, can you see this right lower part? You see where my cursor is? This lower part of you see update available. Click to download. If you click on this update available, click to download, you will get the updated version and then you will have all the 4. Either you have 3 or 4, you are doing well. So the 4, that is the DAX now, is a new introduction. So currently it's still not really effective, but then it's a new introduction. However, it is still an update. So the first one is your report view where you have our canvas. The second one is your data view. So any data you imported, now this place is empty because we have not imported any data. We have not imported any data, and that is why this place is empty. All right. And the last one here is your what? Your model view. Your model view, can you see now this showing a placeholder that is empty because we do not have any data that is sharing any relationship. Does that make sense now? So until we have data in this, we cannot use any of this place. Now, if you come look at this place here, this insert, we have quite a number of what? This is what we call our visualization pane. Our visualization pane. And under our visualization pane, all our charts are grouped in different forms. Of course, we can get more visuals if you need to work with more visuals. So you can get more visuals, right? So just like you have, so don't mind me, here, what you have would actually be empty. Let me just, so that I don't expose too much of what I do. So this, there you will see the project that you have worked with or you are working with and all of that. So that is that. And then under your own, you can see this is where we get data. This is where you pick your data. If you click on this, you see the kind of data sources you can actually see. Like I was saying the other time, did you remember when I was talking about this? So these are different data sources: Excel workbook, Power BI, data flows, data vars, SQL, and all of that. By the time we come next class, we will explore all of this. All right. So insert, modeling, view, optimize, and all of that. So those are the things we're going to do. So come next class, what we are going to be doing is, hopefully by that time, we'll at least start with a particular data from the point of we importing data into Power BI and then how it works, then the basic operation. All right. So let me entertain question 1 or 2, and then we can call it a night. Have we enjoyed tonight's section at all?
Thanks for today's class. See you in the next class. God bless you. God bless you too. Is it possible to have similar data that will be used in the next class so we can download it and work on it together? Definitely before the next class. All right, let me say this now. So our next class apparently will not be this week again. You remember we mentioned we were sent a mail that classes will not be holding on Thursday and Friday because of some other activity that is ongoing around us. So our next class will be on Tuesday next week. Our next class will be on Tuesday next week. So what that means is that before that time, we'll share the data we're going to be using with us. And then for that particular expectation, we also shared it with us so that we can fill it and then have everything sorted before next week, Tuesday. Thank you very much for coming around tonight. Please, I need you to do something for me. Please, you can check on the group page, tell people on the group page that they don't want to mix this particular module of class that we are starting because we realize that some persons are still probably saying that I'm tired, I don't want to do it again. All of this and all of that. Please get them to be encouraged and let them come back to the class. All right. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, or morning, as the case may be. Thank you and God bless. See you next week.